Hello, today for your art project you need paper and watercolors if you have them, if not some sort of marker or something that you can make colored circles with. We are going to talk about what a portrait is and how to read or communicate expression and also how to draw it a little bit today. This portrait is very familiar to us. I taught you guys about her in class. Mona Lisa was painted by Leonardo da Vinci, and her expression is a bit of a mystery. Sometimes people say that she's smiling. Some people think that she is aloof or indifferent, maybe as though she's kind of like bored or doesn't care. But it creates a mystery because we can't quite tell. Part of the reason is her expression is very plain. So when someone is calm or their expression is hard to read, they don't have a lot of movement in their eyebrows. Maybe they're not really smiling. They're just more like, you're not sure what they're feeling. But some portraits show a lot of emotion. This is a bit of a portrait by Edward Munch, and it's called The Scream. And obviously we can tell that that's a figure or a person and that they're quite upset there with their, and we see that, because movie makers are artists, we see that sometimes in movies or cartoons, or even if you've ever seen Home Alone, you see the whole thing when Kevin is shocked. So we are gonna, when we draw our faces later, we're gonna think about eyebrows and the mouth and the eyes and how those change the way whoever we're drawing in a portrait looks. So let's go ahead and start with our first step, and I have a set of watercolor paints here. Got my brush and a bowl of water, and I picked a glass bowl because it's heavy and I can't knock it over as easily. So I'm going to wake up my paints a little bit, and I want you today to enjoy the paints. You could even mix some new colors, and we've talked about how to do that while you're making your circles. But you're going to fill this paper that you have, whatever size, with some nice large circles. And we're going to do that for our portrait because we don't want to stress about the shape of the head, but we know heads are kind of like circles or ovals. Some of us have more angular faces. Some people have maybe like a wider head. Just really depends on what you were made like, what you were given. And some of you are going to want to paint different size circles, and that's fine with me. So here I have a green circle. I'm going to wash out my brush in between colors. I'm going to switch over here to my yellow, and just like so many times happens, my yellow has a little bit of another color in because I didn't get my brush washed out, or whoever used this last didn't, but I kind of like it because it's got a little bit of green in it. It's going to make me like a neon or a really bright yellow. So I'm going to paint another circle. I might choose to keep this one a little bit smaller, or I might be like, I think I'll make this a little more like an oval, and that's fine because a face is kind of like an oval. We don't want them too small because then later, once they're dry and we draw on them, the smaller they are, the harder they are to work with. So nice and big. Like if you look at mine, they're about the size of my fist. So that's kind of a good way to judge. Maybe a little bit bigger than your fist, depending on how old you are, how big you are. Ooh, what color next? It really doesn't matter. I want to use a variety of colors. If your school teaches the zones, you might even think about, depending on what color you paint the circle faces, you might be like, oh yeah, this zone, if someone was this color, they would have a happy face. And when you go to draw your faces on there, that might help you determine what kind of emotion you are drawing. If you have no idea what I'm talking about with zones right now, that's okay. It's just sort of the idea that different colors make us think of different sorts of feelings. Like in the movie, what's that movie called? Oh boy, it's got the girl, and then she's like sad, and she moves, and can you guys, what's that movie called, Lil? The one one that has like anger and inside out. I need y'all here with me to help me while I teach. Teach me while I teach you. So anyways, I want you to fill your paper with different colored circles. And you could also do some like nice peaches on there, browns. If you do black, most watercolor blacks don't get like too dark. They have like, it'll have a nice black that you'd still be able to draw with a Sharpie on top of. So black is a good color too, just don't get it too dark. And if you didn't have watercolors and you were using like a Crayola marker or something, then once you have your whole paper full of those colored circles, we'll go on to the next part. You might need to pause it right now, but I went ahead and I've already got one here that is dry, so I'm ready to draw on it. I'm gonna put it, right on top of there so I have plenty of room. Once my paper has a good amount of circles for portrait faces, I want to draw on those. And you might find it handy to grab something like a mirror, and you can use your own face to try out some different emotions and what happens to the lines on your face when you make them, to help you get some ideas for drawing. But I'm going to draw some different peoples here on my paper. I've already done this girl. She's kind of happy, you can tell. She's got a little headband, maybe a little hippie look. I'm going to drag that in there a little bit closer. Down here, I've got a blue circle, and I think here I'm going to start a boy, and maybe he, like you and I, is not going out of the house a lot right now, and so his hair's a bit, you know, maybe something like this. The part of his hair is going to come down over here, and I'm going to show the hair growing on the sides of his head there as well. Maybe a few pieces are sticking up. And then I could do some lines that show how his hair is brushed or unbrushed. Or I could leave that empty, however you want to do it. You don't have to do this little guy at all, but I'm going to also add some ears for him, because usually we can see people with shorter ears when we draw them. And then I'm also going to add some eyes. And maybe he's kind of surprised, so his eyebrows are going to be up a little bit. I'm going to make his eyeballs a little bit bigger. When we draw people, we're just combining lines and shapes together. There's his nose, and I think that he is a little unsure. Maybe he is sick and tired of being inside. I hope you can see that. So there's my little guy there. Over here, this is like a really cheerful color, yellow. I hope in the zones that's a good thing. I think yellow would be good. I don't know. I need to do my zones homework. Maybe somebody can email me. This girl, she is going to have a middle part, and her hair is going to come down and around. Part is like, you know, where the hair divides. And over here, her hair comes down and around. And her hair is just so. Maybe she just got it done. And let's give her, I don't know if they're like buns or little pigtail things here, but we're going to give her some of these. And what else should she have? We'll say that she is feeling, her eyes are pretty simple here. Some little eyelashes. Give her a little nose. And I don't know. She's like, not sure. And maybe she has like, if she's young, she's got like a little chin mark. Maybe she got a rounded face. Sometimes as people As you guys get older, your faces become less round and more angular. And you can just have fun drawing some different emotions and expressions. Look at this red one. I'm thinking that is not good. So I'm going to give this, I'm going to make this a guy. Oh dear. You know, it's just a fact. Right now there's a lot of different emotions that we are feeling. Maybe he has had a hard day. Some things are happening in his life and he is kind of serious. He's got deep brow creases. I don't know. And it's okay to feel these different things. You just can't stay in these angry places. Let's see, would he have like the frowny face perhaps, or maybe it's just like real serious, I'm not sure. And I could give him a hat, like he needs a hat. Be pretty big, wouldn't it? Be a pretty big hat. Maybe he's like a worker, maybe he's like a business guy. He's got his little hat here. And then I'm going to color that in. I don't know though, I didn't get his head all the way covered. That's not a very good hat. Get that covered. And you can have fun. Oh my goodness, there's so many things that you can draw. When I was doing this with some of you at school, there were all kinds of creative, interesting ways that you decorated these faces. Even though we don't have like their whole bodies on here, I saw lots of the headbands, earbuds drawn on kids, headphones, glasses. If you have glasses, those help communicate what the person looks like and sometimes even what they're feeling. So I want you guys to have some fun drawing faces for me, showing emotion or expressions, and feel free to email me your art, escall@tvsd.us, and keep thinking about those things, being creative. I'll see you guys later.